Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Kingdom Texas High School Football Podcast. My name is Casey and I am the founder and host of the Kingdom Texas High School Football Podcast. Today we will go through all 31 games I went to during the 2021 season. We will also have a quick look back at the state 7-on-7 tournament from a couple weeks ago. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick recap of all the games that I went to during the 2021 season. I was not able to go to a game in week 1. I was out of town, so my season starts in week 2. Game 1, Thursday, September 2nd. A little rivalry matchup as the Foster Falcons host the Travis Tigers at Traylor Stadium. Foster enters the game after a loss to Lamar Consolidated in week 1. Travis comes in after a loss to Spring in week 1. So both of these teams are looking for the first win of the season. Foster, in kind of an upset, defeats Travis 28-7. Moving on to game 2, the next night, Friday, September 3rd, the Katy Paetow Panthers host the Katy Morton Ranch Mavericks from Legacy Stadium. I was very excited to watch Katy Paetow for the first time that season. I fully believed Katy Paetow had all the pieces in place to have a great season and be dangerous in the playoffs. Katy Paetow's dominance on all phases of the game and all 4 quarters leads to a 43-14 victory for the Panthers. Game number 3 came the next night as the George Ranch Longhorns hosted the Katy Taylor Mustangs from Traylor Stadium on a beautiful Saturday night. This was my first time seeing George Ranch in 2021. George Ranch picked up a very close win against a great UC Lamar team last week. The Longhorns would follow that up with a dominating 48-13 victory over a good Katy Taylor team. Would this hot start for George Ranch continue throughout the season? Alright, moving on to week 3 as we see game number 4 on Thursday, September 9th. The Terry Rangers host the Hightower Hurricanes from Traylor Stadium. I was very excited to see Hightower, and they did not disappoint at all. Hightower dominates in a 41-0 victory over Terry. Next, game number 5, Friday, September 10th. The Clear Falls Knights host Deer Park from Challenger Stadium in a highly profiled game between two teams that are looking for a district title in 2021. Clear Falls was able to weather the storm early and cruise in the second half to a big 45-21 statement victory for Clear Falls. Alright, we move on to week number 4. Game 6, Thursday, September 16th. The Katy Tigers host the Woodlands Highlanders from Rhodes Stadium in Katy. This game was a great game, a big back-and-forth slugfest. Katy was able to come out on top with a huge 21-14 victory. Game 7 comes the following night on Friday, September 17th. The Fulshear Chargers host the Fort Bend Christian Academy at Traylor Stadium. This was a very good game. Fulshear earned an impressive 38-28 victory that night. Game 8, Week 5, Thursday, September 23rd, Katy Tompkins Falcons host the Katy Cinco Ranch Cougars at Rhodes Stadium. This was the first district game for both teams. Both have goals of making playoff runs in 6A in 2021. After a great back and forth fight, Tompkins walks away with a close 32-28 victory. Game number 9, Friday, September 24th. The George Ranch Longhorns host the Fort Bend Elkins Knights at Traylor Stadium. George Ranch would roll in an impressive District 26A opener, defeating Elkins 35-14. Game 10, Week 6, Thursday, September 30th. Clear Lake Falcons host the Clear Springs Chargers at Challenger Stadium in a heated District 24-6A matchup. Clear Springs would lead the charge in a dominating 47-21 victory. Here are some highlights from the game. Game number 11, Friday, October 1st, the Travis Tigers host the George Ranch Longhorns at Hall Stadium. This was the first time these two teams have ever met, and it exceeded expectations. This game was back and forth from the beginning. Travis was barely able to hold on to a tight 33-29 victory for the Tigers. At this point of the season, we really see the Tigers really put things together offensively and defensively, and they proved to be a true threat in District 26A. As for George Ranch, I look back at this game and really see how this one game was a true turning point of the season for the Longhorns. George Ranch would not get that spark that they once had early in the season. All right, we roll into week number 7. Game number 12, the George Ranch Longhorns host the Fort Bend Austin Bulldogs from Traylor Stadium. This game would be very important for George Ranch going forward throughout the season. George Ranch was needing to get back on track, and they needed to get it back on track in a hurry, as the Ridgepoint Panthers would be coming into town the following week. However, the Bulldogs pushed George Ranch to their absolute limit, but the Longhorns were able to seal an important 35-21 victory late. Still in week number 7, Friday, October 8th, game number 13, the Shadow Creek Sharks host District 23 foe, the Straight Jesuit Crusaders from Freedom Field. This game was very important for the Sharks, as a win here would put them in the driver's seat for a District 23 6A title early on in the season. The Sharks would hold off a late Straight Jesuit rally in the second half for an important and impressive 35-20 victory for the Sharks. Here are some highlights from the game. We go into week number 8. Game number 14, Thursday, October 14th. The George Ranch Longhorns host Ridgepoint Panthers from Traylor Stadium in a crucial District 26A matchup. Ridgepoint will go on and dominate the Longhorns in a 44-14 victory for the Panthers. Game number 15, Friday, October 15th. The Stratford Spartans would host longtime rival the Houston Memorial Mustangs from Tully Stadium. This is one of the biggest and longest rivalries in the Houston area, and it would not disappoint. Stratford would hold on to defeat Memorial 24-17. We would attend 2 games Saturday, the 16th of October, so let's get straight to it. Game number 16, 11 a.m. start time. The Katy Tigers host rivals Katy Cinco Ranch Cougars from Legacy Stadium on a beautiful Saturday morning. The Tigers would dominate and march to a 49-3 victory. Game number 17, the second game of that Saturday for me. 6 p.m. start time. The Travis Tigers host 26A rival the Clements Rangers at Hall Stadium. The Travis Tigers would make a huge statement, defeating playoff-bound Clements Rangers 41-0. We head into week 9 with game number 18 as the Angleton Wildcats host the Foster Falcons from Angleton's Wildcat Stadium. This game would end up being a play-in game, as the winner of this game would get that final spot in the playoffs for District 10 5A Division 1. Angleton would hold on and win 26-25. Week 10 is where we see game number 19 as the Cy Park Tigers host the Cy Ranch Mustangs from Cypress's CFFCU Stadium. This game would be a back-and-forth classic game. Cy Park would hold on for a 50-43 victory. This victory gave the Tigers the District 16 6A championship. Game number 20 would come in the final week of the regular season, week number 11. The Pearland Dawson Eagles host a big rival, the Pearland Oilers from Pearland Stadium. This is a very big rivalry over in Pearland, as the winner claims the bragging rights over the next year. the Pearland Oilers would hold on and win this one 25-23. This win gave the Oilers a home playoff game in round 1 of the playoffs. Playoff time, round number 1, Thursday night, is where we see game number 21 as the Katy Tompkins Falcons face off against the Travis Tigers from Rhodes Stadium. Katy Tompkins would prove to be too powerful for the Travis Tigers, as Tompkins would win 49-21. Round number 1 would continue Friday night. Game number 22. The Pearland Oilers face off against the Clear Springs Chargers from Pearland Stadium. The Chargers would win this game in a shootout, 42-35. Game number 23 comes in round number 2 on Thursday night. The Carthage Bulldogs face off against Hampshire Fannet Longhorns from Randall Reed Stadium. Carthage would do what Carthage does and dominate in all phases of the game and go on to win 42-14. Round number 2 would continue Friday night. Game number 24. The C.E. King Panthers face off against the Shadow Creek Sharks from Freedom Field. The C.E. King Panthers would jump out to a huge lead early on. The Sharks would fight back late, but the C.E. King Panthers would hold on and win 52-34. Round number 3, game number 25. The Atascocita Eagles face off against the Ridge Point Panthers from University of Houston's TDECU Stadium. This game would turn out to be a great hard-fought contest. Atascocita would hold on and win 24-21. Here are some highlights from the game. Round number 4 of the playoffs, game 26. The Katy Paetow Panthers face off against the Hightower Hurricanes at Rice Stadium. This is the second time they have faced this year. Earlier in the season, Katy Paetow won 55-7. However, this time, Hightower was ready and pushed Paetow to their limits early on in the game. Paetow would stay strong and win 35-12. We have arrived at AT&T Stadium in Arlington for the Texas High School Football State Championships. I would arrive for the middle game in the Friday's triple header. Game number 27, the Gilmer Buckeyes face off against the China Spring Cougars in the 4A Division II State Championship game. China Spring would cap off a legendary 2021 playoff run and win the state championship 31-7. Then, Friday night, game number 28, the Katy Paetow Panthers face off against the College Station Cougars for the 5A Division I State Championship. Katy Paetow would win in a thrilling fashion, winning 27-24 in overtime. That was one of the best games I have ever seen. Saturday morning, game number 29, the Liberty Hill Panthers face off against the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears for the 5A Division II State Championship. The Golden Bears would hold on and win 23-14 in a great game. Game number 30, Saturday afternoon, the Duncanville Panthers face off against the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs for the 6A Division I State Championship. The Mustangs would win a very hard-hitting 17-10 game. This is the third time in 4 years that the North Shore Mustangs are state champions. And in every single one of those 3 championships, they have defeated the Duncanville Panthers. Saturday night, the final game, game 31. The Denton Guy Wildcats face off against the Austin Westlake Chaparrals for the 6A Division II State Championship. Austin Westlake would dominate a very good Denton Guy team, 40-21. Westlake makes history, finishing back-to-back perfect seasons. This would also make it the final game for the legendary head coach Todd Dodge. And that completes my journey of 31 games throughout the 2021 season. I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot. I am very excited to make a new journey in 2022. Now, let's take a quick look back at the Texas High School Football State 7-on-7 tournament from College Station. I went to go see the tournaments on Saturday. Those tournaments were the Division I Consolation and Championship brackets. The three teams I was very impressed by was Shadow Creek, Katy Cinco Ranch, and Fort Bend Hightower. I really like what these three teams brought to the table during 7-on-7. And I have very high hopes for them going into the 2022 season. I want to give a big shout out to the Division III champions of Miles, the Division II champions Hitchcock, and the Division I champions, the DeSoto Eagles. Thank you all for listening to episode 2 of the Kingdom Texas High School Football Podcast. Episode 3 will drop next Thursday, the 21st at 11 a.m., where I will give you my top 10 ranking for the 2021 games that I went to. Again, thank you for listening. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is the Kingdom Texas High School Football Podcast, and I'm your host, Casey. Have a great day.